Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today I want to talk about the Clippers, but before we get into that, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as y'all know, yesterday was a very difficult day for me, and I'm sure a lot of Clippers supporters and Kawhi, and maybe some NBA fans that just wanted to see some good competitive basketball. As you know, a few hours leading up to the game between the Clippers and the Suns, we got the unfortunate news via Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN that Kawhi Leonard, in fact, was going to miss Game 3 due to a knee injury that he had that miraculously or inexplicably that occurred in Game 1, which is incredible when you factor in all the load management that the Clippers have done this season, right? So we got that news, and it was pretty deflating. I was watching that game. Was totally dejected all throughout the game because I knew the Clippers were going to lose that game. It's too much of a jolt to the system when you lose your best player after already not having your second best player. It's just too much from a psychological standpoint. It really is. At the end of that game, I was listening to some of the interviews, post-game interviews, and I was really focused on what Ty Lue had to say because I follow Ty Lue quite closely in terms of a lot of his interviews. And Ty Lue, man, seems like he's been going through this. He's been dealing with a lot of stress and disappointment with this current situation there with the Clippers. And yesterday was no different. And as a matter of fact, at the post-game conference, he was actually asked these questions directly of what is the psychological toll of losing Kawhi Leonard again in a pivotal playoff game. And when it came Ty Lue's time to talk, he basically expressed his feelings pretty candidly. But before we get into his comments, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is we want to play exactly what Ty Lue had to say here, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what Ty Lue had to say there.
Ty, you're one of the best X and O coaches in the league. So what's the process for you once you find out that your second of your 2 stars isn't going to be playing? How do you sort of go about your day to get to tonight?
We've been here before. As crazy as it may sound, we have a great roster and a deep team. And so other guys get an opportunity to step up and play well. And I thought all our guys did that tonight, and so you hate to see PG and Kawhi go down, but, we want to control what we can control. That's all we can do. And just come out and play hard, compete every single night. And like I said, I thought our guys did that. And so changing, a few of the plays and changing some things we do offensively with Kawhi being out. And I thought the guys did a good job of executing that.
Is it just stuff that you've used at other times when they've both been out or Kawhi's been out, or it's new stuff?
No, it's something new, but mostly the stuff we've been running, when those guys are out. And so I thought the guys did a good job with that.
Hey, Ty, after Game 1, when Kawhi played 40-plus minutes, you said this is what we've been building towards all season for him to get to this point. When you get the word that he won't be able to play, how deflating is that in the moment, and how long does it take for you to move on just in your spirit to be able to, to go from a place where you're 1-1 and you feel like you have a handle on the series to completely having to go in a different direction?
I mean, it's very deflating, and I think more so for Kawhi because, you have a guy who's coming off ACL, hasn't missed a rehab session, eats right, eats clean, does everything he can for his body, works extremely hard to get to this point, and then you have something like this happen. So it's tough for him. For all the work that he puts in. And so I feel bad for him. And our team, like I said, our guys have been through a lot this year, the last 2 years, and just for us to compete to get to the point where we made the playoffs and we're feeling, pretty good outside of having PG out. It's like you said, and this happens. It's a blow, but there's nothing we can do about it. Like I said, we just got to come out and compete the way we did tonight and then clean up some things, take care of the basketball, and then defensively, just being more solid, I think, with Booker. And we tried, he's a tough guy to cover, and so just figuring out different ways to try to keep him under control.
So you heard what Ty Lue had to say. Here are my thoughts on this. I think any human being would be disappointed at the outcome of this series so far in terms of Kawhi Leonard being injured, but especially Ty Lue. Let's just run the gamut for a moment. Ty Lue gets there, takes over the team, to replace Doc Rivers. They get to the playoffs. They get to round 2. They're looking competitive. Beat a very tough Dallas Mavericks team. And then Kawhi Leonard goes down, I believe it is in game 4. The Clippers at home. Finds a way to gut out that series win. Gets to the conference semifinals against the same Phoenix Suns team. Loses in 6 games. The very next season, Kawhi Leonard misses the entire season. And Paul George is facing injuries. Clippers battle, get to the 8th seed. Then they get knocked out in the play-in tournament. This season, you come into the season with the expectation your best player is going to be healthy. Paul George is going to be ready. What happens? Kawhi Leonard comes back at the beginning of the season, has some crazy setbacks. Kawhi Leonard is being heavily load managed all throughout the regular season, ends up missing, 30-plus games this year. Paul George is missing games left and right. 3 to 4 weeks before the playoffs begins, Paul George gets injured. Sprains his right knee. He's gone. You now have to psychologically gather yourself and say, okay, well, at least we got our best player in Kawhi Leonard. And we can still be competitive. You go into that series, you steal game 1, and game 2 is pretty competitive. And you say to yourself, man, we're coming home now with 2 games at home. We can protect home court. We could possibly go up 3-1 in this series. And then what happens? A news comes out that you could never even imagine would be possible, which is Kawhi Leonard won't be available for game 3. And that has to be deflating. And you heard him say it. I was deflated. Absolutely deflated. And my question is simply this. How much more can Ty Lue withstand coaching this team with the situation that it currently has, with the excessive load management and the unpredictable the murky nature of the health of their 2 main players, in Paul George and Kawhi. And if I'm Ty Lue, at the end of my tenure, at the end of my contract, I'll be asking myself a serious question, which is, do I really want to go through this stress again? Do I really want to endure this for another 3-4 years? Do I really want to? What evidence do I have to prove that it's worth continuing with this situation? And this may be something he's pondering internally, because again, these are all human beings, man. Who wants to constantly remain in a very, very difficult situation? But as you heard him there, it is taking a toll on him. So this situation, man, I don't know what to say, but hopefully things brighten up moving forward. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Catch you on the next show.